I'm taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut season off top, you stop breathing.
Especially in this era now, where I think, you know, the goal is no pay-per-views, especially after today's fucking news, you know, with UFC. And I go, of course, also speaking about failing upwards, because there seems to be a lot of that in combat sports. You know, we were just talking about fucking Broly failing upwards and shit like that. And now you have UFC that's failing upwards. Because they got a whole deal from Paramount, a $7.7 billion deal, exclusive media rights deal. That means UFC's content moves exclusively to Paramount Plus in 2026. And it's just like, what the fuck? And Paramount before, they're the ones who had PBC. Like, they had PBC because, you know, Paramount owned Showtime. And they decided that for whatever reason, that Showtime boxing wasn't doing enough in order for them to actually keep it on their network. So they got rid of it. They got rid of it for UFC. And the current UFC basically has no stars, like none. Like, their stars in UFC are Muslim fighters, which they're good fighters. Don't get me wrong. You know, they are good. I enjoy watching them go to work on all of the MAGA fighters that they got on there. I don't
enjoy that wrestle fucking pardon pause. I hate that shit. The best UFC fights are like literally stand up fights. But anyway, yeah, that's my opinion.
I like wrestling. I like submission shit. Like, I can dig all that though. But between that and MAGA and then some faded fighters, like, UFC has no star power because let's get like UFC pay-per-views are not selling a lot. You know, they don't get me wrong, they have their audience, like people's, you know, they still have their hardcores that support UFCs no matter what, but they have like real no star power, but yet they get a $7.7 billion deal. Like, I mean, when's the last time UFC pay-per-views even did anything even close to a boxing pay-per-view without like a crossover shit like Floyd versus McGregor type of shit? When's the last time?
UFC's brand, I mean, like, I won't lie, I watch it when boxing not really on. I'll watch the bigger ones, but it's like their fans are really loyal. They're like slave to the brand. Like, they don't care who it is. They're a slave to the brand, you know. MMA is UFC isn't a sport. MMA is, but right. To most of the UFC fans, quote unquote UFC fans, they're not MMA fans. They're a slave to the brand of like I saw what's his name, the NBA player Tyrese Halliburton. He said, I saw a podcast he was on yesterday or something. He said, I'm not a wrestling fan. Get it straight. I'm a WWE fan. In a similar regard, where it's like you're a fan to the brand of the UFC and all the little intricacies they have, but you're not really a fan of the sport. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
You know, I mean, brand is everything. Like, you know, brand placement, and that's one thing that boxing does lack. It doesn't really, like, I mean, last time boxing had it was HBO boxing and Showtime boxing. That was brand, especially HBO boxing. My goodness, like, you know, even today you have people wishing that HBO boxing will come back. Like, if HBO ever decide to air boxing again, the sport will experience a real significant growth of some sort. Like, it would, like, people like, I would actually, well, I mean, technically I have an HBO subscription through HBO Max, but I would actually get it from my cable this time instead of getting it through my damn AT&T plan. Like, you know, like, boxing, there's not a strong brand in boxing with regards to like the promotional outfits like UFC does. And that's the thing. And that's what probably prompted Paramount to be like, okay, let's give these guys almost $8 billion.
Yeah.
And we're gonna air everything on whatever Paramount Plus. I don't even have Paramount Plus. That's like one of the few services I don't have. I don't even have
that shit seems so ass. Like, what's the point of Paramount Plus?
Yeah, like I don't have a login. Nobody I know has Paramount Plus either. Like, so
I got the
I do assume though, like, because you see some from time to time they be having some quote unquote stacked cards. They always usually suck. But I bet now with this deal, with these marquee event deals, it's not going to be as quote unquote stacked anymore. I can guarantee you, it's not going to be as stacked, that quote unquote stacked in terms of, like, you know, the name value. Because they don't have the names, but they have the names in terms of like names that a lot of these fighters are washed, but they put them on these cards to make it sound stacked. Is what I'm trying to say.
And another thing that's not going to change too is they're not going to get paid more. It's like, you know, even with this deal now, Dana still has his whole thing in monopoly, so it's not like fighters are going to get paid more. Like, you know, they're still going. I mean, it's still going to be like there's not going to be like anyone fighting in the UFC for $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like that's still, you know, that's still thing. Only thing is now UFC will probably start airing their big cards on CBS or some shit or Showtime, or probably CBS too, like on top of Paramount Plus. You know, and it's like, yes, and Paramount Plus reportedly won't charge viewers any additional fees, which is effectively eliminating the pay-per-view model. So, yeah, but it's just disgusting because just last week, ESPN has that big deal with the WWE, and you know, I'm just like, you know, it's crazy now. It's like boxing can't find a place on any platform, and now you have this. PBC lost their spot on Paramount, and now they got, but they have $8 billion to give to UFC. That shit is crazy. Like, yeah, it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, why can't platforms find a place for boxing? Like, not one fucking platform. The Zone's the only place, really. But it's just like, you know, you tell me not one of the traditional sports platforms can actually find a place for boxing, like any boxing. Like that shit's crazy to me. That's the craziest thing about these deals that are going on lately.
But you know what it is? Hold on real quick, Pilot. When you go to the lot and everything is too high, nigga, that means you just gotta lower your budget range. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe the asking price is too high that they're going to these companies with.
Yeah, I think boxers. Yeah, to add to that, I think boxers, you know, maybe aside for the TKO bullshit they're trying to pull, boxers get too much money, and that's unfortunate for, you know, because boxers' salary or their minimum is probably more than the average UFC's maximum. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time for the
that was by design recently with Turkey though, so he could steal the fighters and get all the attention, get all the clout, and really minimize the stars. Because remember, he was taking niggas in their prime and sending them to Saudi Arabia to fight in fucking front of camels and wasteland.
Because remember, how these niggas is looking at it is, if I get this $8 billion up, will I get $16 billion soon? You feel what I'm saying? They're not just gonna pay $8 billion and lose the money. And boxing ain't in a lucrative state at this moment.
Yeah, and I think that's the, because I mean, ESPN gave Top Rank $80 million, which is pennies to what ESPN probably collects. And they didn't.
What Lil Wayne got for selling his masters, nigga. That ain't shit, nigga.
What's that?
I said that's what Lil Wayne got for selling his masters. That ain't no bread to spread around.
Right. So yeah, I think it's just like, I mean, damn, like, okay, but ESPN can spend all this mad cheddar on WWE because it's the brand. Because WWE has a strong brand. UFC has a strong brand. Boxing does not have a strong brand. So therefore, they're going to be looking like, okay, what's the rate of return? What are we going to get if we? Okay, let's say if we do exclusively Top Rank or exclusively PBC, what do we get in return? And I think that's the part. And I think that's the thing where now they're kind of shutting out, because those were the two that were on the channels like that. Like Top Rank didn't really build any stars like that, bankable ones, at least the ones you could put a pay-per-view behind at least. I mean, they tried with Devin, but, you know.
The biggest fight these niggas made during that whole time was Teofimo Lopez versus Vasily Lomachenko. Come on, man. Yeah,
and that was a pandemic fight with nobody in there.
You feel me?
Yeah. And unfortunately, Teofimo kind of blew his buzz. Like, you know, Top Rank probably had plans to build something around Teofimo, but then he goes and loses to fucking Kambosos. So it's like, you know, it's been fucked up. And then PBC, you know, was on some timeshare shit. You know, they had it on ABC, was it NBC, CBS, Bounce, Spike, which I always said before. PBC and Spike is the best iteration of PBC ever. Like that was where all the good shit happened, like, for the most part. you know. And then then they were doing they were buying time, and also ESPN too. They also bought out ESPN, and it was basically nothing popped off. So they stayed on Showtime and Fox, and then the Fox shit went away, which sucks because you know that PBC on the Fox Sports 1 show, like that shit was good. That shit, like they had something going with that, and it's like, yeah, like you know, eventually it's just like it went from that, and then went to Showtime, and then it's like that was gone. Like that shit, you know, that shit's stupid.
Yup.
Yeah, so it's just crazy to me because when you see that, it's like now boxing has to try to has to really try to kind of get itself together. Like, do they, like Rome said, do they offer, you know, do they lower their worth? Like, do they get on the team for less money? You know, because now that boxers' salaries have gone up so much. You know, which is like a big cost. Like some of them are not justifying their money because they're fighting bullshit. But you see what's happening with UFC. You see what's happening with the WWE, and it's just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, where's boxing's piece of the pie? You know, so yeah, it's just weird too that UFC continues.
Yeah, it's crazy how it became that mainstream. Because you're right. Any nigga I bring up Ring Gang to, right? Be like, you watch fighting? Yeah. What you be watching? Oh, I watch bare knuckle and UFC. Y'all niggas don't watch boxing? Yeah, but you know, my favorite fighter right now is some Glockmulhas or Salafar or whatever the fuck. That's all
Well,
they care
what
about.
you said the other day, it's a bunch of Europeans that nobody fucking knows.
Like I remember Khabib was the only nigga I couldn't pronounce his name. Now it's all these niggas.
Well, I mean, and Khabib was a legit star. That's the thing. Like we can't downplay Khabib. Khabib was legit. Was just as legit as a Conor McGregor. Like he was fucking legit. He was a legit star. You know,
Nigga was wrestling bears and shit.
Yeah, like bro was a beast though, and he had crossover appeal. Like he sold, but like I guess his.
But no, I don't understand how UFC their marketing, they make you care about niggas who don't really do shit. Got like 10 fights. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, because
It's an MCU effect. Like, you know, Ant-Man got 2 movies, nigga.
Yeah.
They let anybody be a star at UFC.
Yeah, as long as you fight, as long as you bleed, you know, Dana will push you to the moon. As long as
because you know, there was a run. There was a run like in the 2010s, I guess, where UFC was. I don't say it took over boxing in terms of popularity, but there was a big surge where like everybody would hit the bar to go watch UFC. You know, when John Jones was fighting and Conor McGregor. You know. But when those when those guys left, they tried to masquerade and push these niggas that got mad losses or these jobbers. And niggas were like on the lower, like they were the openers on the John Jones shit. Now they're trying to push them as stars, you know.
But look, UFC been at it for a minute, nigga. Because I remember as a kid watching Iceman, Chuck Liddell, fucking Rashad Evans, Rampage Jackson. Them niggas was taking over there too.
No, I go back further. Like I used to watch Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock, Oleg Teftar,
Steve Blackman, all them niggas.
Yeah, what is this, 90s UFC? What the fuck?
Yeah. That was when UFC was fucking raw.
90s UFC was like the rawest UFC. Like niggas had eye gouging and
headbutting and shit.
Headbutts, like motherfuckers that put you in a hole and just lay there on the ground for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it sounds like CTE ready to happen, nigga.
I mean, it probably was. So. And shout out to Horace Gracie too. Yeah, can't forget him. Yeah, like that UFC was raw, but that shit was like they were known, but it was banned in too many states because they had niggas that were 220 pounds fighting 500-pound sumo niggas. Like that was legitimately how they were. There was no divisions. That shit was cockfighting, nigga. Like they didn't give a fuck. But I'll give Dana credit for cleaning up UFC and actually getting the first wave of stars in it. Like, he made stars out of fucking Chuck Liddell, you know, who once he got his jaw cracked, he stayed getting his jaw cracked. You know what I mean? You know, so like, and like I said, basically UFC kind of you think they would live off the past, but like I said, they push, you know, like mediocre fighters or or they have no personality. But for some reason, it just gets them more attention. It gets them more money. And of course, now there's no pay-per-views because the UFC, they weren't selling no pay-per-views no more. So it's like, yeah, we either do this or we get rid of the model. So
I think he uses the model like Dana White. They took some WWE shit, like
Yeah, they're on TV all the time. Type shit.
even Bob Arum, where like they learned you can't make your fighter bigger than the brand. Like, you know, Top Rank would always cap their stars from superstardom, and like Vince McMahon would always make sure these guys aren't bigger than the brand. And I think UFC adopted that and then some at this point. Now,
yeah, and that's why these guys never could do any record-breaking pay-per-views and shit. They never created a star like that.
I feel like DC and John Jones fight, it was like record-breaking numbers shit.
oh yeah, easy, yeah. John Jones.
They fought each other what, 3 times, 4 times?
I mean, John Jones could have been the GOAT, but he had some personal demons, and he was a little inactive. But he is. I mean, in terms of like, he could have been a much bigger draw than he was because of the fuck ups he had. But
Yeah, no, but it's like I said, it's all about the brand. Like, if your brand is strong, and this is where like, you know, this is where boxing and this is everyone. It doesn't matter what promotion. Every promotion needs to kind of get on the ball and strengthen their brand. Like even Turkey needs to do this shit. Like, strengthen your brand even more. Like, because like I said, Turkey's putting money into sport, which is true, but it's just like. But you can't get yourself on linear TV anymore because networks don't see a rate of return. That's a problem, you know. And that's, you know, it's like, yeah. But you have UFC, you have WWE doing this. Like, come on, like, and like I said, I'm a wrestling fan. I love watching wrestling. You know, like I said, I was a fan of UFC. Like, but it's just like there needs to be a place for boxing too. Like, you can't have these brands getting these big ass deals. But, you know, we still don't know when the fuck Top Rank will even get a new platform or what platform they'll go to. Or
it's like UFC really, like, I mean, I know we're boxing fans, but is UFC really that much popular than fucking boxing in 2021?
It's not, man. Look,
yeah, I'm telling you, if you ask 7 guys that watch combat sports, I swear 5 of them watch UFC.
Why the numbers never reflect that? UFC, the one thing UFC has over boxing is they have a Rogan, they have a unified agenda. They got that universal shit going where they can always push UFC.
It's under one umbrella.
Yes, so they could say stupid shit all the time. They'll say the best fighting the best. Their version of the best fight the best is 2 jobber niggas who are both 7, 6, and 5 and 4 type niggas.
15-4, lost his last 3, but you know, he
but they're like, it's the best fighting the best though.
Like, come on.
Boxing, we look at it like, yeah, I guess.
They try to make niggas stars quick. It'd be like, yeah, he got 6 wins, 0 losses. This is the new guy.
They're literally trying to tell you who's a star. Mm-hmm. You can't even pronounce this nigga name. They're like, he's a star. Like, no, the fuck he's not. Like, they don't have no star. It's like, it's the brand that's doing the work right now. Like, people are married to the brand.
What was the last nigga that just won? What's his name? Taporia or some shit? Y'all know.
That don't even sound like a star name.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. He got hands. He
was a super favorite, and I never even heard. I never even heard of this nigga in my life.
He's on the old man tour right now. He's knocking out the old quote unquote legends.
Cause they're setting him up for, you know, put him on a nice card, get him some nice knockouts to, you know, build the card, nigga.
And on top of that, make him to a star.
And he's talking. On top of that, he's talking that mess about fighting the winner of Crawford and Canelo. So he's one of those.
See, and he wasn't supposed to win that fight. That's the thing.
See, but hold on, Roman, real quick. So you know that guy O'Malley, right? Shane O'Malley, whatever.
Yeah, that nigga lost like 12 fights.
He was supposed to be the next one up, but he ended up being kind of, you know, losing when it mattered. So it's like, you know, but he was supposed to, you know, do the crossover.
And look, and that's supposed to be a star. Like that nigga's like rudimentary skills.
all he do is dye his hair pink and go out there and struggle, nigga, and niggas be like,
all he do is be he cosplays as Riff Raff, and then people eat that shit.
But he struggled so hard in his fights too. Like, Niggas think he's some ultimate striker. He can't even take niggas down. Like, yeah, I don't really like Sean O'Malley's fight.
And the way he's so arrogant, like
they were trying to push him like he was gonna fight fight Tank Ryan type of thing, but he fucked it up. He lost a couple of his fights.
Lost like 6 fights, right?
he was never getting that fight.
Yeah, which goes to say, like I said, all the UFC fighters, like they do what they do, but they still need to validate themselves against actual boxers. Like they're still looking for that.
You got to go 20 years ago to start even, or at least 10, 15 years ago to even start going to like big ass pay-per-view events and, you know, like real numbers for UFC. But for the most part, boxing outperforms them niggas all the time. The only thing that outperformed boxing in a sense was that damn bare knuckle shit up in Philly, because that did bigger numbers than boots.
And bare knuckles, and God help us if bare knuckles gains steam. I mean, influencer
It's big enough. It don't need to gain no more steam.
Yeah, because actual boxers are starting to go into that shit now.
Look, every time I go on Instagram, I'm seeing a bare knuckle boxing highlight or a fucking slap contest.
You watching
highlight.
the slap shit? You see that slap shit?
Yeah.